Hey, this is Dr. Lewis Cohn. I am a chiropractor and nutritionist in the Dallas area in North Texas, and I'm doing a series of little videos on different topics related to your health or why you don't feel healthy. This topic today is going to be about food allergies. Food allergies are rather common. There are some people who seem to have the constitutional strength of a goat, and they can eat anything they want. And then we feel kind of stupid or like there's a problem with us when we find that we can't eat everything that we want, or we just feel bad and we don't know why we're feeling bad. Those people who have all the right genes, indeed, they can just eat a ton of things and they seem to have no problems. People who did not get all the best genes and have some digestive weaknesses, like I do, have troubles eating certain foods. And I'll just go through some of the foods that tend to show up in patterns. A lot of the grains give people troubles. Wheat, rye, barley, spelt. Those are 4 different grains. The most common one is wheat, that contain a protein called gluten, and some people can't digest gluten very well. Another grain that gives people some troubles is corn. Corn, I believe, has a protein called zyme in it, and some other things we may not even know the name of, but certain proteins, generally the allergic reaction is to a protein, can cause some people some problems. So corn can be another one that gives people grief. It is less common, but sometimes people have a problem with rice or oats. So those are other grains. The biggie of the grains is usually wheat or the gluten-containing grains. The number 2 out of the grain group is usually corn. Some people are quite allergic to milk, cow milk in particular. Interestingly, it seems pretty common that people can tolerate goat milk, which comes from an animal, but they can't tolerate cow milk. There's something more digestible about goat milk, although some people are also allergic to the goat milk. So if you're allergic to cow milk, then remember what cow milk is multiple products. There's butter, sour cream, yogurt, ice cream, a glass of milk, cheeses, various things that milk goes into. So depending how sensitive you are to milk, you need to watch avoiding milk in its various forms. There's 2 main proteins in milk, casein and whey. If you are allergic to just one of them, sometimes you can be able to have a few of the milk products because it doesn't have that protein in it that you're allergic to. For example, if you're allergic to whey, whey is not really in high concentrations in hard cheese or butter. So if you're bothered by whey, a lot of people can still have hard cheeses or butter, and then they seem to have no symptoms. But if you give them a full glass of milk, they have symptoms, or they get sick, or some ice cream, get sick. So there can be some nuances to the milk allergy. Another one that can give people problems is eggs. Some people are really not able to digest eggs, either the egg yolk or the egg white, or both. Some people are actually allergic to the sugar cane plant. So sugars that are derived from sugar cane, which is the most common type of sugar, can give some people grief. And they seem to be fine with fruit sugar instead of sugar cane sugar, and they seem to be fine with honey. But anything that comes from that sugar cane, rum, molasses, sucrose, anything sugar cane derived can give them big trouble. So they've got to understand that and go towards some other sweetener. Some people seem to do very poorly also with heavy protein sources, like some of the meats. And so higher concentrations of protein, animal sources of protein like beef or pork or certain other things, like eggs were a previous example. Sometimes they just really can't digest it and it gives you problems. Going down the scale of common reactions to foods, some people have some troubles with onions and garlic. Some people have some troubles with some of the citrus fruits. I find that less common. So, what do you do about this? The first thing is to have it identified. Then once it's identified, you can do 2 things about it. The first one is give it a rest. Don't have that thing for a while because it's beating you up. Number two, generally, if you can find some nutritional products that strengthen the digestive process, strengthen the ability of your body to produce digestive juices, digestive acids, digestive enzymes, if you strengthen your body's ability to produce that, you start digesting across the board better, and you even start digesting better some of the foods that you can have allergic symptoms to. Now, there's a spectrum of how sensitive you are to foods. You can be extremely sensitive or not sensitive at all. I find that most people that come to me with health problems are somewhere in the middle to extreme. If it's very mild or near zero, those people are doing a lot better. But if you have a medium to strong sensitivity to a food, it really wears you out. Remember also that food allergies don't generally pop up when you're 30. Generally, you've had some food digestion troubles lifelong. Food allergies generally follow you from breastfeeding. You can even have allergic reactions to your mother's milk because your mom was eating that food that you're allergic to, and some of those proteins end up into the mother's milk, and then baby drinking that mother's milk is having some fits, having some colic and stomach discomfort and various things. You get into childhood, sick all the time with sore throats, frequent strep throat infections, just allergies, sore throat, ear problems, nasal problems, repetitive infections, one bacterial infection after another. Usually that means there's a food allergy beating up their immune system. Asthma, super common reaction to food allergies. Then sometimes people kind of outgrow that tendency, but they still have a food allergy problem. It's just that their childhood symptoms of being sick all the time change, and it morphs into now they have hormone problems or fatigue or headaches. That seems to be more of adult problems with food allergies. Joint pains, a lot of stomach problems, headaches, fatigue, various things. So there's kind of there is a progression of symptoms from infancy up to adulthood with food allergies. Again, how do you do it? Best thing to do first is identify it. Second thing is to avoid it for a while. The third thing is to try to improve the digestive process across the board. Some people, once they improve the digestive process, can add that food back in. They seem to do okay. Other people, when they add the food back in, they have to add it back in, but not too much, or occasionally. Some people, they add it back in and they just have the symptoms again. So it seems like for those people who are extremely sensitive, you just have to keep avoiding it. But I always shoot for helping people to be able to tolerate it, at least some for some splurges. And that is, in general, food allergies. Airborne allergies or allergies to other things are generally, is going to be another topic. Another thing to think about food allergies, I would love it if when we had a piece of bread, we just immediately started getting a nosebleed, because you'd know, wow, anytime I eat a piece of bread, I like my nose starts bleeding. That would be like a bing bing, I know I have a bread allergy. But very often, these food allergies can be a delayed response. It can be from a few hours to actually a few days later. So it's very hard to put your finger on, oh, because of this, gave me this weird feeling. So you can just feel like, oh man, I just feel randomly tired because maybe the randomly amount of wheat that you're having 2 days ago. 2 days ago I had a bunch of wheat, and then 2 days later, man, I just feel really tired. Then you have a day or two of not so much wheat, you feel a little better. Then you have some wheat again another day, and 2 days later, like, man, I feel really tired. I have no idea why. It's because there's a very delayed reaction to the load for some people. So because it's delayed, it can be kind of mischievous and hard to figure out why. And you just think, I'm crazy, I just have these random weird things happening. But it can be foods. So consider having those tested for. They could be a big part of your health. And if you want to email me, my email is lewiscone@yahoo.com, LEWISCONE@yahoo.com. I'll try to answer your questions, email you back, or if it's a common question, I'll make a video about it. Hope to answer it there for you. Thanks.